Now to an environmental disaster, sending children to the hospital, creating breathing problems along the California coast.
The state's largest lake is drying up, and it's drying up fast. The Weather Channel's Dave Malkoff visited the Salton Sea. It's situated inland between Los Angeles and San Diego. There, he found toxins, heartache, and a $2 billion plan to contain the dangerous dust.
Today, the Salton Riviera.
This is California's Riviera, the beautiful Salton Sea. If you're having a hard time remembering exactly where this is, you're not alone. This is the Salton Sea today, a disappearing, toxic land filled with kids and their parents struggling to breathe.
That's a salt area. These are barnacle shells right here.
That's Bruce Wilcox. He's in charge of cleaning this up. The lake that once was is now evaporating away, leaving this cesspool behind. Saltier than the ocean.
Almost twice as salty as the ocean, and getting saltier every day.
Water that used to come into Bombay Beach is now rerouted to big cities like San Diego. This is all legal, but as the water evaporates, unhealthy dust starts to blow around. Now, sitting here on my couch, it's impossible to translate to your couch just how big the Salton Sea actually is. You'd need Google Earth to see something like that. You need to see it from orbit. Look how big this is. This is the #1 largest lake in the whole state of California. Lake Tahoe up there is actually #2.
Pretty much we live in a dust bowl, you know, like that's just it.
The more water that's diverted from the Salton Sea, the more it starts to look like this. In his home, hers too.
That's all I got. You know what I mean? I stay home. I'm gonna stay home, Dad.
Andrew Cobb Jr.'s son, Little Drew, had a near-fatal asthma attack. Officials tell us the dust is doing this to many kids here.
That was the last picture I've seen of my son.
The California Department of Health tells me here in Imperial County, children go to the hospital for asthma at a rate 2 to 3 times higher than anywhere else in the state. Little Drew had to leave in a medical helicopter without his parents.
By himself. We had no way to get him there. We had no money to pay somebody to take us because we don't have a vehicle.
We test the areas for arsenic, for cadmium, for lead, mercury.
These are heavy metals that get into kids' blood.
They could certainly, yes.
He had IVs in his neck and his arms. He had a tube down his throat.
The state has a plan to stop the dust from blowing. One idea is to build a kind of moat around the entire lake, trapping the dust. But that is expensive.
We have $80 million right now of funding.
$80 million, and you need?
Upwards of, what did I say, $2.5 billion?
Yeah, that's a long way to go.
It is.
This is the cheapest, most affordable place to live, you know, right now. Everywhere else is so expensive, you can't live there.
The Cobb family is lucky. Little Drew came home after going to the hospital on his birthday. He never got to eat this cake.
No, we were hoping we can defrost it, it'll still be just as fresh, you know.
Yeah. Yet state officials are still looking for the cash to keep the sea from turning to salty dust.
As much sound. Comes up pretty high. Almost got hit earlier. I don't know if it's hot or not. It's warm. It's really warm. Pretty sure that mud in the middle is hot. Whoa, hello. You hear that? That's crazy. Look at that one bubbling right there. So freaking wicked. Look at that little formation it made right there. It's so cool. This is another little vent.
I like it.
Yeah. Look at that. That's so freaking awesome. I'm such a nerd.
Did you say they were hot?
Yeah, the mud's warm. I'm sure where that mud's flying out, it's like hot. And that white stuff over there, it's like a sulfur. And your hand feels funny when you touch it. Look at it.
The sound is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
My videos here.
Yeah, because there's not, the picture can't tell. You can't tell what the sound is. But that's power right there, you know?
Yeah.
You know, they say that Salton Sea, well, this one scientist says that Salton Sea actually has one of the biggest volcanoes underneath it. This part right here. And one of the biggest ones in the world. It's like Yellowstone style.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is like a sign right here.
It sure is. It's really been interesting in a way. And yeah, the pictures aren't going to show it.
No,
For scientists, the decline is alarming.
The clock is ticking.
Tim Krantz is the Salton Sea database manager and a professor of environmental studies. He says the impacts of a dried up lake could be severe.
The environmental health costs, the ecological costs, the impacts on property values around the sea. These acres around the sea today are almost worthless.
About 10 years ago, it got so salty that all the large marine fish died, except for the estimated 40 million tilapia in the sea today. And water levels are about to get much lower. A legal settlement reducing water from the Colorado River means the sea will shrink even faster. So why not just leave it alone and let it dry up? For starters, toxic dust. As the lake bed dries up, strong desert winds will stir up tiny particles of poisonous minerals and chemicals.
This would expose the lake bed sediments, which are very, very fine. These are particulates where I could get 30 particles in the width of a human hair. So small that if you inhale these, you cannot expel them. And so small that they will perfuse right through your lungs into your bloodstream, carrying with them whatever particles or chemicals are attached to those. That includes arsenic, selenium, cadmium. These are highly toxic chemicals.
The Imperial Valley, home to the Salton Sea, has some of the worst air quality in the state.
Our concern is if the sea continues to recede, then it's going to expose a lot of dry playa.
Brad Porres, the air quality officer for Imperial County, says hospitalizations for respiratory problems are already 3 to 4 times the state average.
More than anywhere else in California.
Specifically for asthma-related issues?
Correct.
But the threat of unhealthy air extends far beyond the Imperial Valley because dangerous particulates can blow hundreds of miles.
The southwestern U.S. and Mexico would be affected. It's not just a regional problem. It's an interstate problem. It's an international problem.
What happens to your air quality as the Salton Sea continues to dry up?
Well, our fear is that it's going to impact it so adversely that you're going to have to issue severe advisories to where people basically can't even go outside. It could start elevating readings throughout the whole state of California, thereby impacting their health as well.
It sounds like this could be really bad.
It could be really bad.
Why is everyone not talking about this?
Well, this is way out here in southeastern California, and people think that it's just a local or regional issue. But they don't understand the full consequences of this.
And I'm Gino Lamont. First on KMIR tonight, President Trump signed an executive order today reversing a number of EPA policies. And now residents near the Salton Sea worry that his move could impede efforts to restore the ailing Salton Sea. KMIR's Vince Marino joins us live in studio with more on this story. Vince, good evening.
Gino, for years, the Salton Sea has slowly deteriorated. Plans to restore California's largest inland body of salt water have come and gone without any real progress. And after today's executive order from the president, the fear is that things could get even worse. In the 1960s, the Salton Sea was a bustling recreational destination.
We have a street out here by the sea that every weekend would be bumper-to-bumper campers coming out. The fishing was terrific. There's nothing better than the corvina that you used to be able to catch in the Salton Sea.
But now,
probably been years since I've seen a boat out on the water.
Over the years, the lake began to shrink from a lack of farm runoff water. If it dries up, Fine particles and other chemicals could cause an ecological disaster.
We're going to be dealing with toxic dust probably for quite a while before they ever get up to us, unless something drastic happens. So that's where we're at.
In September 2016, the federal government stepped up its commitment to the Salton Sea by exploring the possibility of buying geothermal energy from the Imperial Valley, a move that could help fund the restoration of California's largest lake. But President Trump's executive order has signaled change.
They're starting already too late. You know, they can't get it done and they know it, so now they're doing piecemeal patchwork stuff.
Somebody has got to come up with bunches of money before you can do anything with the Salton Sea.
According to the 10-year plan to restore the Salton Sea, about $80 million has been allocated to the conservation efforts. An additional $300 million is needed to sustain the plans until 2028.